Hey guys, Jim Grace here, doing a video for y'all. This is actually one done by a really cool person. No, it's not a Masquio this time, so we'll have to get on to him. He hasn't made one in a while. But this one is made by one of my good friends I met on here. I really think that we should go and throw him some love because he is like right there at almost hitting 100, and that would totally make me happy right now. So anyway, but if you don't know who I'm talking about Dendor. Totally jump over there, give him some subs. I think Dendor needs like 10, a little less than that, and he will be at 100. Guys, that's what I always try and get everybody to aim for in the community, is helping somebody at least get to 100. So anyway, but I wanted to do his tag video. His tag video is called Lessons, and basically it's manga, other stuff in your life that gave you a lesson into it. So, I mean, you know, let's get started. So my first big one that I would say probably led me in the right direction would probably be, gosh, there's so many, but I would probably say Get Backers. It was one of the first ones that I actually read, and Get Backers actually was a great story. You know, it's two guys that are trying to get stuff back for people. I mean, Get Backers, that's what it is. But in one of the chapters, they go and they get the stuff done, and they do it for like food. They do some other stuff for just not a lot of money, and all this other stuff. And it was something that I actually loved, because that kind of played into my morals today. Besides other stuff besides manga, but I think Get Backers was a big part of it as well. With that, I totally thought that you works into quote unquote for religious people out there, tithing. I've never been super rich or anything like that. I've always had to work for everything, and I don't exactly believe in tithing money. That's actually something that I think a lot of people don't have in our societies today, but I believe in tithing, like your time, yourself, different stuff like that. And, you know, in Get Backers, them doing stuff for basically free sometimes, or maybe for just food, stuff like that, really had a strong impression on me. And so I had this idea of, don't do anything that way if you're helping somebody out, because usually how it is, like, they can't pay you or anything else like that. So one of the things that I did a lot was I would help people if they asked me. You know, they would say, oh, I need help with this, I need help with that, and my thing that I always told them basically was, instead of paying me money because I know that you don't have it, or, you know, whatever exactly, because a lot of people are that way, why don't you do something that's really befitting? And that's kind of where this whole gentleman thing was kind of born. That was something that I put off to everybody, because I live by it. You know, it's a moral value that I kind of have, but it's doing that. And what I would ask them is, hey, instead of you paying me money, instead of you trying to buy me something, why don't you do something that's really easy, really cheap? and I want you to make me your best meal. And that's what I would do. Anybody that I did anything for, that's what I said. Make me your best meal. Make me a family thing that you have that maybe nobody else does really, or different stuff like that. And I mean, it happened for a lot of people. You know, I did that, and a lot of people would ask me, and they all basically in kind sat down and we would eat together, you know, which leads into another thing. You know, as far as that goes, kind of like Toriko went. I think there's Toriko, and I think Food Wars may do it. No, there's another one. I can't remember the name right now. Anyway, but it was sitting down and eating together, and that was another thing too that's kind of in manga, is sitting down and eating together, because you learn about each other. And you know, it might have been a friend of a friend's mother that needed help, or something like that. And that's what I would do. I would come to their house, and I would get to sit and eat food with them and learn basically about the food, tradition, culture, all this other stuff that I like to do already. I like to learn. And so it was something really good to do. You know, going from there, you know, increasing my friendship, being kind to everybody. That's a genre, and well, not a genre, but it's a thing in a lot of them. Mostly fairy tale, Naruto, One Piece, different stuff like that. There's always lead in the right direction by friendship. And so I couldn't tell you how many people doing that other stuff that I actually became friends with, or quote unquote family with, because a lot of people after that, and just getting that, it was kind of a foot in the door, I guess, to increasing like a family thing, because a lot of people just came in open arms and did that. And you know, whenever my dad married my stepmom, you know, I felt a little left out because I didn't know anybody, and I married into a family. I had no siblings that were close to me, we'll say that. But we got into a family, and I changed schools and everything, and I had 4 other cousins that went to the school at the time that were from my stepmother. And that was super great, because then I got to hang out with them. I got to be friends with them. Obviously, you know, sometimes there's not good stories that go with that. But I mean, they're now people that I still trust and care about and everything, to you know, help me out, everything else like that. But there's a lot of stuff that we don't see, you know, here and there. Another one that helped me out really and gave me more words than I could ever feel good about was probably Mar. You know, at some point, a couple of characters in Mar actually have problems, you know, and it's another thing that happens in a lot of books. You're not strong or anything else to move forward, and that was another thing that I tried to push with some people. My brother, that all you guys know, you know, when we were younger, he had way more problems than he has now, and manga is one of the things that helped me understand more of some of that, because there were ones that I felt like focused on what we were dealing with, him and I, and our family, and going through stuff, and I mean a lot of other stuff. So, you know, and then leading up to more current manga today, you know, certain ones like Sweetness and Lightning, and if it's for my daughter, I'd even defeat a demon lord, and Yatsuba, all were good ones that I felt gave me more courage as a parent to say I'm doing the right thing by my child and raising them correctly, and I have them on quote unquote the right path. You know, so I mean, guys, there's just so much manga, and I feel like there's something you can learn out of all of it. You know, even if it's one that went on hiatus, if it's a single volume, even if it's just a chapter that was a short story, it can have a good lesson into it and be something that totally helps you out. I mean, you know, there's so many different manga that I feel like helped me out in a certain way, or a certain place, you know, Bakuman, kind of that whole never give up. You know, it's writing manga. You can get sick, you can get pushed down, you can lose your license, you can do all that, but you can still move forward. You know, there's a lot of different stuff, you know. Trying to think of another one. There's some other manga that's kind of like, instead of picking up a weapon, you know, use love, stuff like that. Buddha was a really influential one for me too. I feel like that was one that just kind of took a lot of weight off my shoulders. It was something that I read and it just kind of whoosh. You know, Buddha kind of made it where you don't have to try and be a part of this or whatever, or because of something you don't have to be a certain way and hurt a certain way. You know, it's different stuff like that. So yeah, Higuro no Go, be sportsmanlike, you know. And I mean, there's other stuff that ties into everything here and there, but being sportsmanlike, shaking your hand, you know, even if you lose, most of the time you're playing it with a friend or somebody that you endear, or somebody that you're trying to teach it to or whatever, and if you lose that person, or a good example right now, sub counts for all of us. If you're losing out to a friend or somebody that you taught, you shouldn't feel upset about it. You should be happy because they're moving on, which most of the time, in kind, if they're your friend and everything, it'll flip and you'll start moving too, you know. I feel like a lot of people just don't think of certain things like that, and there's things like that you think more of in manga. So I really like that kind of stuff, and how manga can encourage you to go farther, push your own limits. And I would probably say manga overall, besides YouTube and other stuff, probably is making my extrovert sign. Used to always take the test on all that other stuff, and the very first letter, if you're an E or an I always got 50-50 on it. And I probably still am there, but now things have changed on both sides, where I've become better at working with that stuff. You know, so I think it's just really funny in that. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this. This was a couple of lessons that I learned from certain manga series, or genres of manga, stuff like that, and or manga in general. So I hope you guys go and at least attempt to do this tag, get real into it, have fun with it. There's a lot of stuff that can help you in manga. The more you read, the better things are. Even going into it with a head thinking that you can learn anything from any of it, you can probably do it. So I highly recommend maybe you view some manga that way. And if you haven't done this tag, I think you should do it. So anyway, a couple shout outs. I know Dendor got a couple people already. I for sure want to do a Taco Mike, because I don't think we've done one of Amaskio J's tags in a while, and me and Taco Mike are big Amaskio J supporters. And I would probably say like Alonzi get in on this, and Lowly. I'll pick those ones. The rest of you guys, if you guys want to jump into it, you can do it. I believe in all of you. And let us know what manga you learn certain attributes of yourself off of. Usually there's manga that just tweaks you just a little bit, and then you have ones that just turn the dial up and turn everything on. And so anyway, let me know. Bye.